my goodness, absolutely nobody saw the Denver Broncos using the 20th overall draft selection to pick a corner, but we got an absolute stud and a full Jadae later. I am head over heels in love with Jadae Barron and cannot believe that we have him as a part of the top 3 defense in the league. Last year, we are going to be the best defense in football, and in this video, we're breaking down some advanced analytics, some highlight packages. We're going to talk about where he fits in, and we're going to look at some of his interviews that show that he is an alpha dog and the leader that this team needs to continue to be young and hungry. If you're new to the channel, I'm a diehard Denver Broncos fan named Ben. Helps me in the YouTube algorithm out a ton if you like the Broncos, if you would smash that like and subscribe button. So I think at the initial blush last night, by the end of the live stream, Mike and I had come around to it, and it truly was just like really wanting a running back, but I am so thrilled that Sean Payton did not overdraft and reach for a running back. If you talk Terrell Davis, 6th-round pick, Phillip Lindsay, undrafted, Clinton Portis, 2nd-round pick, Mike Anderson, the list goes on and on, that Sean Payton, Alvin Kamara, we are going to find a running back. And if you just look at George Paton, who said he's more prepped for this draft than any time before, you look at what he does in rounds 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is going to feed families, and this is going to be an exciting year. And so it truly, the initial shock was more just like us kind of hoping that we were going to get a running back, but I am more confident than ever that Jadae is the answer. So one of the initial things was like, as soon as the draft was over last night, you had Mel Kiper come on and say wins and losses. And right away, he's like, you know what? I think the Broncos actually won. You're looking, NFL.com gave us an A, Sports Illustrated, B+, Fox Sports A, Bleacher Report A, PFF said elite. We're going to get to that in a second. The Ringer gave us an A, Pro Football Sports Network gave us an A-. And you're just seeing here, James Palmer came out and reached out and said that he has a couple top defensive back coaches who think that Jadae Barron is actually the best corner in all of the draft this year. And you got to remember, who got picked number 2 and traded up the farm is a corner in Travis Hunter. So this is absolutely crazy. You're seeing that Zach Stevens came out and say, well, how good really is Jadae Barron? Well, look at this. He actually won the Jim Thorpe Award, which is the award given out for the best defensive back in football. And guess who he won it over? He won it over Travis Hunter. So just absolutely crazy to see that kind of thing. Here's the tweet that Pro Football Focus put out here. They're elite round 1 picks. And I can promise you that if the Broncos drafted a running back on this list, once it was at O'Mara and Hampton, and even looking, Ashton Jeanty doesn't make this list for elite draft picks. So this is who they are saying are the elite draft picks. And the Denver Broncos, who already had the 3rd best defense in all of football last year, with the defensive player of the year as one corner, came out and drafted who some are saying is the best corner in football. This is just, you can't make this up. We have kept a strength. And I go back to the name Levi Wallace, and when I say that name, all of us just immediately have flashbacks to Jerry Jeudy serving us our lunch and breaking records for a return to his former team, because at depth there, when you lose a corner, you are in big trouble. So right off the bat, having the depth there, that if Riley Moss goes down, if Pat Surtain has another fluky concussion like he had, if McMillan gets hurt, like, we have depth there. And it's not depth. He is a day 1 starter in the nickel package and so much more, running a 4-3. We're going to get to that and where he lines up here. But already top 3 defense, people last year were comparing us to the no-fly zone and to the Super Bowl defense. And then you go out and get Hufanga, Greenlaw, and who some are saying is the best cornerback in this draft. We truly have turned, and we are the no-fly zone 2.0. Last night in the stream, folks were calling it the restricted airspace. I love that name. I'm just head over heels with this pick, because I think Sean Payton knows that he is going to find his running back later in the draft, and that we will all look back on this with just a huge smile on our face, knowing that we tricked the NFL again. So looking at his last year at Texas, knowing that they were playing some incredible competition, knowing they were making it into the college football playoffs, that when a quarterback threw at him, and you got to remember, in college football, the hashes are farther. You see college foot like Shedeur Sanders breaking Bo Nix's accuracy rating. It is so easy to throw the ball to an open receiver in college football. The separation just is so much easier to get because of those wide hashes. And when a quarterback threw at him, he was only accurate 54% of the time. That's an incredible stat. We're going to look at the highlights that back that up. I truly think Jadae is a absolute Ladd McConkey stopper. We remember Ladd McConkey, the only throwing option that the Los Angeles Chargers have. We put him on him right away, and you stop that. 0 touchdowns allowed all last season. That is a wild stat. They made it to the college football playoffs. 5 interceptions, not a ton of games. 33.1 NFL passer rating when he was targeted. So when you use how the NFL uses passer rating, 33% passer rating, that's crazy, you guys. And then again, being a Jim Thorpe Award, beating out Travis Hunter. I think we got an absolute steal there. And you heard Sean Payton early on when he was talking about the NFL draft, that every single player they had on their big board, they somehow connected to someone in-house so that they could do deep character assessments of them, so that Sean Payton could reach out and say, hey, how do you think he fits in and what I want to do? And so, Vance Joseph is calling his cousin and saying, hey man, is this guy an actual NFL talent? How does he fit in with what we're doing? And Sean Payton slammed his hand on the table for that last night in the post-draft press conference. That's incredible. Here we are surprised by another corner. Well, the last cornerback, as Benjamin Albright points out here, the last cornerback who surprised us was Pat Surtain, that we got him over Justin Fields, who is now bounced all over the league and is on another team. And I remember at the time being upset because my Madden-loving, offensive-loving mind was like, oh, we need a quarterback. But again, you have George Paton knowing, I'm going to get the best player on the board. This is how the Philadelphia Eagles just won the Super Bowl and beat the Chiefs. It's you do not reach. You do not pass on Crystal just because you need a blender. So there were talks about trading back, but I think Sean Payton did the right thing and kept our strength a strength. We know that Jaquan McMillan is up for a contract again at the end of this season, so the Broncos would have to pay him mega money. Now we have more money that we can give to Nick Bonito, we can give to Zach Allen, we can give to Malcolm Roach or JFM, and that is going to help as we are really navigating Bo Nix's rookie contract. We're going to be able to go really far because we already have Pat Surtain locked down on an incredible team-friendly deal for the next 4 years. You got Riley Moss for 3 more till you have to pay him, and now you have 5 years of a potential outside corner who could step in there. I'm thrilled with this and think it's absolutely phenomenal. So let's take a look at some of the highlights and what he does. That's just, so you see some, a back leg throw there against CSU, the Rammies. And you see him just in the right place at the right time, a 4.3 speed, 5'11". So he's not small at all, but he's not huge corner 1, corner 2 type material. Seeing him in the right place at the right time. I love seeing these highlights against the Georgia Bulldogs because we know that is a force to be reckoned with. That and he is always in the right spot at the right time. Seeing him on that pass breakup right there. He is always in the box. We're going to get to Matthew McConaughey in a second, but watch him just read that slant route and then call there. But you have the physical gifts there. 0 touchdowns allowed, 55% percentage completion rate in college football. We are in fantastic shape here. And I think this is going to step up the entire defensive front. And you're seeing Chris Harris Jr. come out, tweeting that he loves it. You hear in his post press conference that he'd already talked to Pat Surtain and that they'd already developed a friendship. They have a similar financial agent. Look at him jump that route. This is going to be a crazy pick that we're going to look back on and just be thrilled to death that we got it, because it's more than just him on the field, right? That you saw a lot of guys last night who were about me and who aren't character fits for the Broncos. That was the issue with Randy Gregory when Sean first got here. Jadae Barron is a high character guy. Matthew McConaughey, all right, came out and said, hey, they got a great defender, a great young man on and off the field. And so pretty cool to see that. But when you watch some of his interviews and his highlights, you just see a true leader who's going to keep that young and hungry and that integrity. You're not going to have to worry about him with off the field stuff. And I just love this. So seeing after his Texas teammates just lost in the college football playoff, they all are standing up like, hey, we're out of here, and listen to how articulate he is and what he takes the time to do here. It gave me chills. Sent this to my dad, my brother-in-law. Like, this is the type of player you want wearing orange and blue, you guys.
I just want to say one thing. It's been amazing, just the opportunity, but at the end of the day, I just want everybody to know, usually sometimes you always don't come out on top, but we won. We truly know who our leader is, and that's God and Jesus Christ, and.
So incredible using his platform for that, being locked in on the right things. Great tweet here. pinned here to Bo-LIEVE and Nix, and they're talking to him at the combine about like, hey, how were you successful last year? And he said one of his practices is on his mirror. He writes down his goals for each day and each year, and he's specific with them. You don't accidentally fall into excellence. You don't hit targets you don't aim at. Famous quote, in the end, men only hit at what they aim at. You're not going to accidentally become the best defense in football. You're not accidentally going to succeed at your job. You got to be intentional with it, aim for it, and hit it. And that's exactly what he says. You see like a 40-year-old, like David Goggins type, like vibe coming from just this young man who I'm looking up to, just his leadership, and he's 20 years younger than me. Listen to how he is about how specific you have to be with your goals, and you name them and you go after it until you hit it. That's who the Broncos want, and that's who we got.
My mom tells me to do it.
So the practice from his mom.
Committed to something, so I can hold myself to a standard. And you have to be exact with your goals.
Exact with your goals. You spell them out. He goes on to that. And I'm telling you, the Denver Broncos are going to be exact with their goals this year, which is to be the best defense in football. That is going to be the best friend for Bo Nix this year, because he is going to get us so deep in the playoffs, because who's going to score on us? I'm telling you, that is nobody. And that's something we can all believe in. So we got a huge day 2, day 3. This is where the Broncos are going to find their playmakers around Bo Nix. And I'm so hyped about it. Thanks for being here. Where's my basketball? Shoot this.